NBA 2K26 is here, and man, oh man, we got a lot to talk about today. We're gonna dive deep down a rabbit hole into some dribbling, prepare you for 2K26, discuss the new features and different things that Mike Wayne has already confirmed, and just, have a good time with it, have some fun and vibe for the day. So lock in, y'all. Let's do it. Let's do it. So subscribe, like, and comment if this is informative and you rock with me. And here we are. First things first that I want to say is shooting, everything revolves around dribbling more than you think. So like you got to bring the ball up the court. You have to dribble. You're going to try to score. You have to dribble at some point. The game is played with dribbles as a peak part. There's some people who want to talk about all these ISO guys dribble too much. Well, guess what? It's fun. I'm a dribble head, so I love it. But what I can tell y'all is that this year is going to be a lot better than last year. I think if we're going to be honest, the first thing I want to mention is 2K25 just wasn't it. At least not with dribbling. Like, they didn't do a good job with dribbling. And a lot of these people who probably suck at the game are like, dribbling was fine. It's okay. It's great. Actually, I'm sorry, man. It's trash. It wasn't good. Some of the elements, as far as being able to cancel moves, being able to do certain things, was incredible. I think even probably Mike Wayne will tell you, we failed on some launching things. We got so much stuttering in the game. It was a lot slower. And he'll say this to you. You know why? Because if you look at the information that we got about dribbling, one of the confirmations I can tell you right now is that it's a lot faster. And they wanted to speed up the game overall. And we have some comparison videos, and it was good to see kind of like, oh, okay, I see it looks a little more responsive, a little more snappier, a little faster. That's important. All right. So just keep that in mind as we go forward and start talking about all the different things in 2K when it comes to dribbling. All right. With that out of the way, one of the biggest issues about dribbling is that you didn't feel like you can burst out of moves. You don't need a game to be glitchy, but if I don't want to use 99% of the dribble moves because I know that the dribbles don't give me any movement speed towards the left or the right, and it's like, okay, I can only do a cross launch with these couple dribbles, and then I got 3 or 4 other dribbles that I can do same side speed boosts. It's like, same side change of pace, I'm gonna call it. I'm not going to call it speed boost anymore. I want to try to change the term. All right. It's called change of pace. All right. But, I don't know where Mike Wayne's mind was with that situation. And that's where, as a community, we got to give our feedback. And hopefully y'all can do that in a constructive way that will help. And so let's get into it. So first thing that he basically addressed in his new Q&A, let's just call it, is basically all about the size ups, the signature size ups. And he basically says, anything has changed? Somebody asked. He says, dribbling has changed a lot in 2K26. Branching and chaining will generally feel more responsive, can be interrupted more moves than you did in 2025, which is a plus. We made an effort to make the dribbling faster and the input more responsive as well. You'll find some great content here, as well as the return of an old favorite, Scottie Pippen's behind the back. And that's crazy. I love that move, by the way. I think dribbling heads will be able to create some nice highlights this year. So I just want to kind of talk about this for a second, because the Scottie Pippen behind the back is crazy. We're not going to demonstrate it. It's basically just a moving size up. It's like the best, and you're able to just saw someone and then just go get a bucket. So I do believe it's going to be back this year and better than ever. That just means we're going to have some good content to make. Hopefully that isn't the only move that we all stick to, and that we can find some good stuff to have fun with. For me, it's all about the fun. Competitively, I ain't gonna lie, I always go in there and rock whatever's the most efficient. But on a fun level, I also like making wild builds and just enjoying the game. So hopefully that's what that's entailing. Again, you can't really say yes or no or any of that stuff until we get our hands on it ourselves. So take it with a grain of salt. Then someone asked about the motion styles and the effects, and Mike Wayne basically confirms that motion styles are important and that there's some that are naturally faster and more explosive, and now they're going to be having rating gates, so higher attributes must be equipped to be able to use the most effective styles. Now here's the problem with this, and this is something if somebody tell Mike Wayne, the problem with this is that you're putting a rating on something and then the lowest level one is the best one in the game. It's the weirdest thing with dunks, with dribbles. Like, it happens way too often that the lowest level, oh, it's only you only need an 80 overall for the best dribble. You only need, you know, and it's like, dude, come on, man. Why don't you fix that? And so hopefully it's fixed this year for motion styles. Motion styles are not as important, but they're helpful. They give you a little speed, whether it's offense or defense. And so, yeah, we'll see how that works. And to go back into dribbling, and as far as the overall, someone asks, are there any changes to burst or change in direction for ball handlers? He says, we spend a lot of time tuning the dribbler's ability to start, stop, and cut. The speed and tightness of changing direction will vary based on the rating and dribble style. But now what I want to talk about here, as a dribbler, you can't believe this until you see it. All right, so them tuning it, they probably did, but it doesn't mean we got what we wanted, right? So as you watch the footage in the background, you want to see if somebody stumbles when they burst forward, right? They're not fully in full speed. They have to, you know, kind of do a stutter and wait for a full animation to play out before they can move. That's not real NBA. A player has full control of when to burst and when not to. So sticking people into these, I'm gonna fumble when I do my crossover and fumble the ball a little, like kind of like stagger, that is not okay. And it's something that they need to change, and they need to change the ability to just move forward with any dribble style. Now, some of them can be slower, that's fine, but just make it so that it's relevant. All of them can be relevant. If I'm a big man, I got a dribble style, you know, something like that. It can be slower, but it just gives me that good flow to the dribble. And so to me, that's important, and we'll see, you know, where that goes and how that works. And right now you're watching the go-to post shots. This is the new mechanic in the game, and I actually really love this. I think this is going to be fun, go-to post shots. And I did ask him a question about it, and he basically answered, can you cancel out of post shots? And he says yes, you'll be able to cancel if the person doesn't pick up the ball. So all of these moves, for example, as long as they're not picking the ball up, then they're fine. You see DeMarcus right here, when he does the spin, before you gather the ball, you should be able to cancel out of it. When you look at the Joker, his go-to, he's grabbing the ball, going up and under type of thing. It's different, but there's gonna be somebody, and we know this from the go-to shots, that you're gonna be able to use it for a dribble move as well. But for the shooting, it's very important to kind of know that this is gonna be a critical part of the game, and it's gonna be fun as we go forward. And I got a couple of other little things that I want to kind of mention that have to do with dribbling just a little bit before we get into the deep dive on some things. So right here, you're looking at someone asking about the baseline sensitivity. He says, we improved the baseline basically sensitivity so that when you're attempting layups, you'll be fine. And so the reason this is important for dribblers is because there has been some hiccups. For example, the sidelines are a mess right now, the glitch for that. And then the baselines, more so, you'll just step out of bounds when you didn't want to. But you got to be careful, smarter with the ball, play smarter. And that's pretty much it. And so then they talked about the new feature, and this is one of the best features so far of like new content that they mentioned, which is the advanced controls. Quick protect, you're able to stop someone from trying to steal the ball from you right here, you see? And so Mike Wayne also confirmed that you can do that anytime with somebody guarding you or nobody guarding you, and you will not waste any adrenaline. So this is more just protect the ball, be smart, It's kind of like a post up. You know, we use the L2 to protect the ball, but now it's an actual mechanic instead of it just being like I'm posting up from the 3. So that is a very good thing. And then this catch and shoot quick shot. Oh my goodness. I love that. But anyways, that's a different video for a different time. We're mostly talking about the dribbles here. I'll spend all day if y'all let me go in with that. But another thing that I wanted to mention and kind of confirm, and this is gonna probably be a downer, don't worry, we got some good news so far. But this right here, he was talking about layups. Somebody asked him, is the custom layups height and attributes requirements? And he basically confirmed, yes, height and rating restrictions are similar to 2K25. So that means most likely not only for layups, because that's what he's confirming here, it's gonna be that for dribbles and for everything else in the game. Unfortunately, I didn't want that. I wanted unlimited possibilities as far as height goes, but it looks like we're still stuck with that for this year. That means some of your favorite dribbles are going to be locked behind 95, like Steve Francis or whatever the case, that you really feel like it's a must-have in the game. Okay, so there you go. Another crazy one is, this is a big one for, again, I guess we're just bringing bad news today. But they asked him about how adrenaline bars work, and basically adrenalines will function very close to what you're used to in 2K25. And they got a minor tweak. For example, if you spam too many escape moves in a short amount of time, you will drain a bar. And so this is interesting because that means that now what we're used to, being able to hit a hezzy, do a quick cross, and then do an escape behind the back to go the other way, is probably not going to work, man. And you're going to end up, you know, losing an adrenaline. And once you lose all 3, it makes it very hard to really be explosive and effective, because everything's going down the drain from there. And so, yeah, those are some of the confirmations for dribbles. And I wanted to kind of touch on a couple things that I'm pretty sure are changing. Okay, when you watch these highlights, there's things like Trae Young doing some burst move. You see Anthony, you see Luka, and they basically display a lot of good characters, not in these cutscenes that you're watching here, but in the actual game where you're getting to see the full function. And that's where I believe it's going to shine better than ever. Because if we're going to get more responsiveness, we're going to get more flow, and things are going to be looking better, then we'll be good to go as far as players and how we feel about the game. And so look at our buddy Tyrese when he does his little step back from the 3. There's a lot of little movements that we can see for the dribblers that's going to be more fluid already. The question is it going to end up, because the main thing is everybody rocking different dribbles, everybody feeling fluid, you know, and letting the defender catch up. Sure, I personally, just so you guys know, love defense, so I want it to be very good. I'm not here asking for overpowered dribbling or shooting. I want it balanced, but the truth is dribbling is very key to have fun in the game and to really score consistently and be a good point guard when you're trying to make plays. And then in general, just having good dribbling. And so we'll see what happens when it comes to these new features, mechanics, and systems. I do feel like it is going to be a way better year than last year, just off of the strength of all the information that we got now. So yes sir, yes sir. So this is my breakdown for shooting and how to prepare you more or less. I do want to go through all the mechanics and more features once we get more confirmation, and if there's more footage and stuff like that, I'll do deeper dives and break it down even further. So thank you so much for tuning in. Like and comment, subscribe if you rock with me. Stay safe, stay blessed, take care. Peace.